In the springtime, everybody is so excited about fiddleheads. Fiddleheads, 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 where can I find them? So I wanted to show you how to tell the difference between different kinds of fiddleheads, because fiddleheads occur on all ferns. It's actually just their new growth, but there's only certain kinds of ferns that are edible. The first one that I want to show you is our largest perennial fern that grows here in the Pacific Northwest. This is our sword fern. Sword ferns are really easy to tell apart from other ferns because A, it's massive, and it's perennial, so that means it grows year-round, it always is green, and it also has leaves that attach by a single node. So the leaflet that is on each of those long leaves attaches by one node. It isn't fused to the stem of the leaf. So that's a really great distinguishing factor in case you happen to find two ferns that are evergreen and they're growing next to each other, because a very tiny sword fern might look pretty similar to a very large deer fern. Neither of these are edible, so if you see a giant super fuzzy fiddlehead growing out of the middle of a sword fern, it's not what you're looking for. They're not edible, and quite frankly, they're fuzzy, so why would you want to eat them? The one that I do want to show you that is edible is our lady fern, and we've got one right down here. So lady ferns are edible. However, the issue is that they are not perennial. So that means that they lose their leaves in the winter, and you will not be able to tell where they are until they start to come up. When it's, about this time of year and you can see some lady ferns that do have full leaves and not just fiddleheads, then you're probably okay to get fiddleheads from the center of that fern or from other lady ferns in that particular spot. But until you know that, it's kind of hard to tell the difference between a lady fern and other ferns that are inedible, like bracken ferns. The lady fern, when it is at its apex height, has hips, so its big leaves kind of have this nice tapering shape, like a lady's hips, whereas bracken ferns, which are the ones that are kind of harder to identify between them at their fiddlehead stage, is a solitary fern that does not grow in a round basal rosette, and instead they just grow out by one single fern stem and then bract out from there, kind of in bracts. Bracken fern, that's the way I think about it, bracts. They have 3 bracts. So your lady fern is edible. They have a bright green color to them. And we also have maidenhair ferns and licorice ferns. Licorice ferns are typically found on trees growing in the moss on like a maple, for example. They do have mildly edible roots that have some medicinal properties, but the maidenhair ferns are mostly just beautiful, so don't eat maidenhair ferns.